Imagine walking into a room where no one speaks your language, yet somehow you still communicate. You notice a smile, a nod, a subtle hand gesture, and suddenly you understand more than you thought you could. This is the silent yet powerful language of the body. But here's where it gets interesting. These seemingly universal gestures can mean entirely different things depending on where you are in the world. Your body is always speaking, but what it says depends on the culture you're in. This hidden layer of communication is what we're diving into today. And by the end, you'll not only be able to decode it, but you'll also know how to use it to your advantage. Let's start with something as simple as a handshake. In the United States, a firm handshake often signals confidence and professionalism. But if you were in Japan, you might notice people bowing instead, with the depth of the bow showing varying levels of respect. Now imagine being in Turkey, where a softer handshake combined with maintaining eye contact shows sincerity, or take it to South Korea, where a handshake might be accompanied by placing the left hand under the right to show added politeness. A single handshake can hold an entire conversation if you know how to interpret it. Now, think about personal space, something you might not even notice until it's gone. In many Latin American and Middle Eastern cultures, standing close during a conversation shows warmth and friendliness. But in Northern European countries like Germany or Finland, keeping a good amount of personal space is seen as respectful. Imagine how someone might react if you unknowingly step too close or too far. This invisible boundary, or lack thereof, speaks volumes about the comfort levels and cultural norms of those around you. Eye contact is another powerful form of nonverbal communication that varies widely across cultures. In Western countries like the United States, maintaining eye contact is often seen as a sign of confidence, honesty, and engagement. But in many Asian cultures, especially in Japan or South Korea, prolonged eye contact might feel uncomfortable or even disrespectful, particularly when speaking with someone older or in authority. Now think about cultures in Africa, where direct eye contact with elders might be avoided to show respect. While in the Middle East, maintaining eye contact can be a way to show sincerity and strength. Understanding these nuances can completely shift how you connect with others. Now imagine the power of your hands. Gestures that feel natural to you might mean something entirely different somewhere else. For instance, giving a thumbs up in many Western cultures signals approval or good job, but in parts of the Middle East, it's considered offensive. Or consider the OK sign made by forming a circle with your thumb and forefinger, which in some cultures means everything's fine. While in others, like Brazil or Turkey, it can be an insult. Even waving, a gesture that feels universally friendly, could be interpreted differently. In Greece, an open palm facing outward is a highly disrespectful gesture. Your hands, as expressive as they are, can either build connections or create misunderstandings depending on the context. Let's talk about smiling, such a simple expression yet so layered with cultural meaning. In many Western cultures, smiling is a universal sign of friendliness and approachability. But in some Asian cultures, particularly in Japan, a smile might also be used to cover embarrassment or discomfort. In Russia, you might find that smiles are reserved for genuine moments of happiness or humor, so smiling at strangers might come across as insincere. Imagine the hidden stories behind every smile. Knowing when and how to smile can change the entire tone of an interaction. Posture is another silent communicator. In Western cultures, leaning slightly forward can show interest and engagement. But in other cultures, such as in India, maintaining a more upright and formal posture might indicate respect and attentiveness. Imagine being in a meeting and unknowingly sending the wrong message simply through how you sit or stand. In Thailand, pointing your feet towards someone might be considered offensive since feet are seen as the lowest and dirtiest part of the body. In contrast, in Western cultures, crossing your legs at the knee while sitting is seen as casual, while in some Middle Eastern cultures, showing the sole of your foot can be highly disrespectful. Let's dive into touch, a form of communication that can be comforting or intrusive depending on where you are. In Mediterranean and Latin American cultures, touch is a common part of conversation. A hand on the shoulder or friendly hug shows warmth, but in places like Japan or the UK, physical touch might be reserved for close relationships or specific formalities. A simple pat on the back or a friendly arm touch can mean different things to different people, and understanding this can help you navigate interactions with ease. Now think about silence. In some cultures, such as in Finland or Japan, silence is golden. It's not awkward, it's respectful, a sign that someone is processing your words or giving you space. But in Western cultures, silence in a conversation can feel uncomfortable, something to be filled quickly. Imagine the power of understanding silence as a deliberate, Meaningful pause rather than a gap in communication. Even your clothing, your choice of colors, and how you present yourself carry cultural messages. In some Middle Eastern cultures, wearing modest clothing reflects respect for local traditions, while in Western countries, business attire often signals professionalism and authority. Wearing bright colors might be celebratory in some cultures but overly bold in others. Imagine how adjusting your attire to fit the cultural setting could make you appear more respectful and approachable. Body language is a universal form of communication, but its meanings are anything but universal. It's like learning different dialects of the same language. Each movement, gesture, or expression holds layers of cultural significance. Imagine the potential to connect with people on a deeper level simply by understanding these unspoken cues. By becoming more aware of your body language and the cultural context of those around you, you're not just avoiding misunderstandings, you're building bridges, fostering connections, and showing respect. Picture yourself in your next cross-cultural interaction. Your handshake is just right, your posture speaks respect, your smile feels genuine, and your gestures say exactly what you mean. You're not just speaking words, you're speaking a language of connection. By mastering the hidden meanings behind body language in different cultures, you open doors to better relationships, stronger impressions, and more meaningful interactions. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share because you will learn tons of information in the next video.